Sergeant Preston of the Northwest Mounted Police with Yukon King, swiftest and strongest lead dog breaking the trail in the relentless pursuit of lawbreakers in the wild days of the Yukon. Back to the days of the gold rush as Sergeant Preston with his wonder dog Yukon King meets the challenge of the Yukon. This is the Yukon, the territory patrolled by Sergeant Preston. A harshly beautiful country where men and women who have come only to find gold sometimes remain to find something far more valuable, strength of character and a way of life. Barton Pass in the Moose River Valley, where Constable Malloy, recently transferred from Quebec, is being introduced by Sergeant Preston to the spell of the Yukon.
Patrolling the parks near Quebec was never like this.
Well, no use rushing things, Steve. You'll get used to it gradually.
Oh, don't misunderstand me, Sergeant. I think this is a wonderful country. I'm going to like it here. What is it?
Just our luck.
We'll take that route along the ridge.
Won't that look a little unsociable?
Better than being seen close up. Haw, boys, haw!
There's two men behind that team. Coming down the trail and change their minds.
Well, what's suspicious about two men changing their minds?
It's an instinct you develop for the country and the people. Desolate land like this, why, men usually welcome other travelers, not avoid them.
Does seem odd. What do we do now?
Oh, nothing. Just make a mental note of it. You know, the Yukon has a way of revealing most men's secrets and keeping only your own. Always remember that. All right, King. On you, Huskies! Alec McDermott lives here. He's a funny old Scotsman. When I give him this tea, he'll argue for 10 minutes that he ought to pay for it. And when he finally does accept it as a gift, why, he'll complain the next 10 minutes that the tea isn't worth the price you pay for it these days. Well, I'll surprise him with it. Come on, King, let's go see Alec. Alec! Well, that's funny. Isn't like the old man to leave his door unlocked even when he's alone. Alec!
Murdered. Poor old man.
This is one thing you never get used to. I'll take care of things in here and make out the report. You go outside and start collecting stones for a grave.
All right, Sergeant. The only lead that occurs to me, Sergeant, those two men who turned off the trail. Did you find anything that might help us catch the murderer?
Well, I found this in the snow beside the cabin. Must have been dropped by one of the killers, or someone with him, while Alec's team was being harnessed.
Well, maybe it's Alex.
No, I doubt it. If it was, why, the mate would be around here somewhere. I found 2 pair of Alec's mittens.
Why would anyone want to kill him? You said he was a harmless old man.
Furs. The trapping season's been excellent this year. By this time, Alec should have had a fine collection of pelts, which seemed to be missing. Alec had spunk. He was probably going for his rifle when the killer shot him in the back.
We'll not be able to track anyone in this powdery snow. The wind will cover the trail in a few hours.
Well, this'll help.
How?
Come outside, I'll show you. We better lock this place up. Get on our way. It'll be dark in a couple of hours. Come on, King. Here, King. We're tracking this man, see? Get his scent. Atta boy. Now, come on. Lead us to him. All right, King. On you, hustle! King!
He's a marvelous dog, being able to lead a team and follow a scent at the same time.
He's heading south toward the ridge, the same direction the two strangers took when they saw us.
Thanks to King, we now have 2 suspects. All right, on you, Husky.
Thanks for the lift, Frank. See you later.
Ma, they struck gold up in Horse Creek, Ma.
Land's sakes, Jimmy, do you always have to crash into a room?
Sorry, Ma. Did you hear what I said?
Something about gold on Horse Creek.
Yeah, Frank Weaver just told me. I met him out in the trail. What? That's only a few days' travel away, Ma. Think of it, Horse Creek. Well, that's right in our own backyard almost.
Put it out of your mind, boy.
If we struck it, Ma, why, you could live in a big house in San Francisco. Have silk dresses and servants. Don't you want that?
No. What we've got here is a lot better than prospecting. I don't want you to end like your father.
Oh, Pa's luck was bad. He died of pneumonia when he was still young enough to prospect. Never really had a chance.
He had a chance, and he made enough to buy this post. Lucky thing it was, too. At least we have that left.
I don't want you working for the rest of your life, Ma.
I like the work, and I like the country.
Even when it's 40 below?
What's the matter, son? Going soft?
Well, I don't look forward to being a storekeeper forever, if that's what you mean. Why, it's about time I saw something of the world.
You're only 17. You've got your whole life ahead of you.
Oh, listen, Ma. I love you. But soon I'm going to be going out on my own. Well, you know that, don't you?
Now, you listen to me, young man. You're at least smart enough to know you couldn't get even as far as Dawson without a grub stake. And I'll not give it to you until you're a lot older and wiser.
Oh,
Don't
Ma.
bother me anymore with your foolish talk.
But, Ma...
Somebody's coming. Might see who it is.
Hi there, youngster. What's your name?
I'm Jimmy Greenwood. My mother and I run this post.
You in the market for furs?
That's our main business, mister.
Good.
Say, I know most of the trappers in these parts. Don't think I ever met you fellas, though.
Now, this is our first season this far north.
Oh.
My name's Sam. This is my partner, Lefty. That is, his real name is Ben Jones.
Well, glad to meet you. Bring him inside. My mother has to... I consult my mother in all deals. Makes her feel good. You understand?
Sure thing, Sonny.
We're fresh out of rations for the dogs. Think you could unharness them and feed them? We'll be resting here a while.
Yeah, I guess so.
Thanks, Sonny.
This is where the two men turned off along the ridge.
I don't see any tracks.
Well, the wind's stronger up here. It's blowing snow over them. King will help. Here, King. Get the scent, boy. Get it? Okay, let's go.
We've heard good things about you all along the trail, Mrs. Greenwood.
Flattery won't get you a penny more than the pelts are worth, boys. Where are you from?
South, Lake Kusaya.
Why'd you bring the furs here? You were much nearer the Dawson markets.
We're heading for that new strike on Horse Creek.
Must be getting kind of crowded up there by now. could swear these are Moose River foxes. You're sure they're from Lake Kosaya?
Sure am.
Feed our dogs already?
No, I wanted to know first whether you're traveling on.
What's it to you, kid?
Dogs aren't fed till the working day's over.
We'll be moving on, so maybe you just better sell us some dog food.
Well, don't stand there, Jimmy. Get the food.
Oh, what's the rush, Ma? You haven't bought the furs yet.
Fresh kid you have there, ma'am.
He's at the sassy age. Getting too big for his britches. I'll give you $6 apiece for the blacks and 4 for the silvers.
Only 4?
Who wants silver fox? They have to dye 'em before they can be used.
Okay, what's it come to?
I'll figure it. Get the cash box, Jimmy.
Oh, tell me how much you want, Ma, and I'll bring it.
Am I going to get nothing but back talk from you today? I said bring me the box.
Please, Ma.
Don't you trust us, Sonny?
Of course he does. Hurry.
What's the matter with him?
Oh, his head's full of nonsense about finding gold. So I'll thank you men not to mention you're going to Horse Creek. Let's see now. 144 and 24. 168 altogether.
Sounds fair enough.
Man sakes alive, son. What have you got the gun for?
Thought I'd shoot us a snow chick for supper.
With a revolver?
Any objections?
Don't be so touchy, boy. We're just kidding.
There you are. Better count it.
We trust you, Ma.
Put the box back in the cupboard, Jimmy.
On second thought, Lefty, these being such nice folks and all, maybe we ought to stay the night.
Yeah, I didn't realize how tired I am.
May we still have the cabin?
Of course. Just go look it over.
Thank you.
All the dumb things, Ma. Why'd you have to ask them to stay the night?
What's got into you?
Those men are thieves.
Stuff and nonsense. Honestly, Jimmy, where do you get such ideas?
The sled they're using is Alec McDermott's.
All right, maybe he sold it to them.
At the start of winter? And I'll bet those are Moose River pelts, caught by Alec. As for them being trappers, well, they don't know a skunk from a barber pole. You saw the way they handled those pelts. And they even wanted to feed the dogs before they were through working. And you insisted on bringing the cash box out for them to see. Even told them where we keep it.
You're right, son. I guess I have been foolish. But now that...
Looks fine to us, ma'am. We'll take it for the night.
Yes, sir.
You carry mittens in stock?
Yes, I have a few pair.
Lost one of mine along the trail. See if you can fit me.
Yes, sir.
Ma Greenwood was a strong woman, not easily frightened. But Jimmy's arguments aroused her suspicions of the two strangers, and by nightfall, she and her son had decided upon a plan of action. Although the mother knew that it would involve a great risk for her boy, Jimmy would take the cash box to the nearest Mountie station for safekeeping.
It's the kid. Say, wasn't that the cash box he put on the sled?
Sure was.
I don't get it.
He's got gold fever. He's lighting out.
With all that money?
Saving us the trouble of searching the house. Maybe having trouble with the old lady.
Say now, that's real good thinking. As long as we're about to go, we might as well be going his way. We'll harness up right after he's gone.
Right, let's go!
Lefty and Sand made a shrewd guess, but their guess was wrong. Jimmy was neither running away nor heading toward the gold stripe. Instead, on instructions from his mother, he was on his way to the nearest mounted police station with a cash box. When Jimmy's mother saw the two men leave, she regretted her action and was mortally afraid for the safety of her son. Then, less than an hour later...
Sergeant Preston, you're like an answer to a prayer.
You've been having trouble, Mrs.
Oh,
Greenwood?
you'll never know. 2 men were here today. Jimmy got it into his head they were thieves, and he even convinced me.
Well, we've been trailing 2 men, ma'am. Are they still here?
No, they left about an hour ago. Oh, Sergeant, I'm so worried. I'm sure they're following Jimmy.
Jimmy? Out at this time of night?
Well, we thought it safe to take the cash box over to the mounting station for safekeeping. And Jimmy said these 2 men had Alec McDermott's sled and team.
That's
and
all
he
we
was
need to know, Mrs. Greenwood. Thank you. We've no time to lose. You lock yourself up securely. And as soon as we run into Jimmy, we'll send him home. Come on, Steve.
Sergeant, I know I shouldn't have let Jimmy go. If anything happens to him, well, I'm sure you'll bring him back home safe and sound.
Don't worry, Mrs. Greenwood.
Thank you.
I noticed you didn't tell her McDermott was murdered.
Well, there's no use worrying her uselessly. We better ever take those killers before they catch up with Jimmy. All right, King. On you, Husky.
They're gaining on us, fellas. We gotta do better. Go! Whoa, whoa! Up, boys, up. Stay on your feet. We don't want to leave signs that we've stopped. Steady now, boys, steady. Ah, so far, so good. Not in sight yet. Aye!
There he is.
You hit him. All right, you dogs. Ha! Hold still, kid, or we'll kill you.
I knew you guys were crooks.
Take the cash box off the sled. So you'll run off with your poor mother's savings. Aren't you ashamed?
I didn't steal her money, and you're not going to either.
Keep talking big, Sonny. Talk's cheap.
Maybe he's not kidding, Sand. I can't find it.
I told you.
Did you hide it along the trail?
That's none of your business.
When you talk to your betters, talk polite.
You don't want to die yet, do you, Sonny? You're too young.
I'm not going to tell you where the money is.
Dead?
No, passed out. But he will be dead if we don't keep him warm with the fire and stop that bleeding.
I'll get some wood. We've got to keep him alive. At least till we find out where the money's hidden.
We're losing time.
No, something's bothering him. He wants to turn off the trail. What is it, fella? Some tracks here. Somebody's trying to cover these tracks up. Look, Steve, the strong box. Good boy, King. Jimmy's using his head. He hid the money rather than let the crooks get it.
He must have been sure they were close behind him.
Come on.
Hey, on your horses!
Ho, King, ho! Hey, look at that.
Think it might be the men we're after?
Possibly. Don't know why they'd stop to make camp, though.
Let's be sensible, Jimmy boy. You wouldn't want anything to happen to your ma now, would you?
Ma, you wouldn't.
No? Care to call the bluff?
All right. Put me on the sled. I'll show you where the money is.
That's better.
Stop where you are. Put up your hands in the name of the crown. Stop or I'll shoot!
Throw down your guns, Mounties, or I'll plug the kid.
Get that team, King. Lead him on. Cover me, Steve.
Been for those bum bullets and Pop's old gun, why'd I caught those crooks myself, I bet you.
Well, never mind, Jimmy. You gave a good account of yourself. The important thing is they're in jail awaiting trial for murder. And your money's safe, and poor old Alec's stolen pelts have been recovered.
Shall I be a witness at the trial, Sergeant?
Well, possibly. Hey, you sound like you still haven't had enough excitement.
That doesn't apply to me. I've had enough in my first week in the Yukon to last all winter.
Oh, I'd give anything to see the real excitement at Horse Creek.
Haven't you put prospecting out of your mind yet, son?
Well, I couldn't do much this year with this busted arm, I guess. But at least I proved that I'm man enough to go.
You know, Jimmy, sometimes it takes a whole lot more manhood to stay home and take care of your mother.
You really think so, Sergeant?
Yes, I think your experience with Lefty and Sand proved my point.
Well, I guess you're right. I'll be staying home for a long time, Ma, where the real excitement is.
That's what we've been waiting to hear, huh, King? This case is closed.